Hello and welcome back to Rev Real Estate School. I'm your host, Michael Montgomery, and today what we're talking about are 3 tasks that you should do every single morning when you start your day as a real estate agent. Now, these 3 tasks, all real estate related, and the beautiful thing about them is together, so collectively, it's going to take you less than half an hour, and you're going to improve your mindset, improve your knowledge, and also strengthen your connections with your database or potentially do some lead generation. And all of these are extremely easy, very, very low barrier for us to get through these 3 things, and they will have a massive impact on our business over time. So the 3 things that we will be discussing. Number 1 is the daily ESP, number 2 is market intel, and number 3 is text twos. So those are the 3 concepts that we're going to get into. So first off, the daily ESP. Now, if you haven't heard our episode on building confidence, we get deeper into the concept of the ESP. But basically what we're going to do is this. When we start our day, we're writing down on a piece of paper, ESP. Beside E, we're putting effort. Beside S, we're putting success. And beside P, we're putting progress. And then all you're going to do is beside E, effort, you're going to recount somewhere, some area that you gave 100% effort the day before. Now, when it comes to this, it doesn't have to be massive. Maybe you put a lot of effort into searching comparables. Maybe you put a lot of effort into a conversation that you had. It can be extremely small. And actually, in most cases, it is quite small. You're coming back and what you're doing here is you're reminding yourself of an area that you gave 100% effort. Now, second, we have S, so that's success. You're going to write down one success that you had the day before. Again, this can be big, this can be small. Most of the time, it's relatively small. Usually, my success is doing something that's pushed me outside of my normal comfort zone. And that to me is a success. So that can be a really good place to start. Or generally speaking, where did you see some success? Maybe you got a listing. Maybe you put a buyer under contract. Maybe a buyer removed their contingencies. These are all successes. And finally, we have P for progress. So what's one area that you saw progress the day before? Where did you actually improve by 1% the day before? Now, what you're doing by writing these things down is you will be improving your confidence. You are going to be looking at these, you're going to be recounting areas that you were successful, where you put in effort, where you saw progress. And over time, your confidence is going to build. This is a fantastic strategy and it takes 5 minutes. This is the first thing that you should be doing when you start your day. The second one is market intel. So you're going to spend 15 minutes researching the market. Now, what you're doing during this time is you're not searching for properties for buyers or looking up comps for sellers. You are simply looking at your market dynamics. What's going on with average prices? Where are days on market trending? What's going on with months of inventory? What's our sales to new listing ratio? Now, this time is 15 minutes that you can spend how you see fit understanding the market. So potentially, if you're newer, maybe you're just understanding what is months of inventory and how does that actually impact my market? That can be part of market intel. The other thing that I love to do during market intel time is to actually save articles. So I'll save articles to Pocket or Instapaper, or I'll just save them somewhere. And these are market related articles, and I'll read those during my market intel time. A lot of times as real estate agents, we think, okay, we have all these articles and we need to know what's going on in the market. And we need to know what's happening in the news when it comes to our local real estate market. But do we read all those articles? Well, what I do is I just save those, and then during my market intel time, I will open that up and I will read an article or two. So that also counts towards our market intel time. As long as we are learning about our market and we are learning about what's happening in our market dynamics, that counts towards our market intel time. And I do this for 15 minutes. So instead of actually getting it done, after a 15-minute period of time, I move on to the next task. Now, it's a common question to think, how do I actually get to know my market better? What do I actually have to do here? Well, one of the biggest limitations to understanding our market is just not dedicating time to it. And so over the course of a week, you're spending 15 minutes a day on understanding your market. You are going to be in the top 1% in a short period of time of understanding your market dynamics because you are simply allocating a 15-minute period of time. And there's a time constraint to that. When you have a time constraint of 15 minutes, then you are going to ensure that you're not just browsing around and looking around. You are actually going to be spending that time learning your market. And there's really not a ton of rules. The only rule is that I don't use this time to actually be finding properties for buyers or sellers or doing anything isolated for an individual client, although you can if it's market related. What I'm doing instead is understanding my market and understanding more about what's going on in the market. After we have covered the market intel, we're getting into text twos. So text twos is a very, very simple way for you to strengthen relationships with people in your database or potentially even generate more leads. And it works like this. After market intel time, you are going to text to people. Now, there are some rules to this, but generally speaking, you are texting to people in your market, or it could even be an agent in another market. And the rules basically work like this. First off, it has to be outbound, so it can't be somebody who you're currently in a conversation with. It also can't be somebody who you would be texting that day anyways. So let's talk about this. Let's say you have a buyer under contract. Maybe you're texting them about inspections or something like that. This is not a time for you to follow up on that. This is an outbound message to somebody who you probably wouldn't normally be texting that day. And that is part of your text twos. So the next rule to this is that the first one can really be anybody as long as it's not somebody who you are texting on a regular basis or somebody who you're currently under contract with. It also can't be somebody who's family or friends who you would probably be texting anyways on a weekly basis. If it's somebody who you text on a weekly basis or even every 2 weeks, it's probably not somebody that we want to include in our text twos. We want these to be new people or people that we wouldn't normally be texting on a regular basis. And the final and probably the most important rule is the second message needs to be a thank you or appreciation message. So you need to be sending a text where you're thanking somebody or you're showing a level of appreciation for something that they have done for us. This can be a lot of things. Maybe you had a listing presentation and you want to thank them for their time. Or maybe you just had a really good chat with somebody and you want to thank them. Or maybe you had a really good experience at a restaurant and you want to thank them. So the way the text twos work is it should be in text form. It could be in text message, it could be in DM, and it could be in email. But the reason for this is it's asynchronous. So it allows us to send these messages and then start the conversation over time. So the first message should be outbound to somebody, an acquaintance, and then the second one should be some level of appreciation. Now, the real magic behind this is, yes, we're prospecting, we're strengthening our bonds. Over the course of a week, let's say we have 5 working days, that is 10 outbound messages that we are making. It's also very low barrier in the sense that we're just sending 2 messages. And then finally, we are expressing gratitude. So when we're done this, we're going to feel great. We are going to feel fantastic because we've expressed gratitude. And so then you're going to kick off into your day with a great mindset through your ESP. You're going to know the market from your market intel time, and then you've texted 2 people or messaged or DM'd. And then from there, you will honestly start your day with such a great state of mind. Thank you very much for watching or listening to this episode. Remember, you can reach out anytime at revrealestateschool.com, or I'm on Instagram at the.michael.montgomery. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next lesson.